It's always nice to find a bit of tech that's really helpful for photography, and that's what this little bit of tech is from Freewell. And what is it? Well, let's head down this mountain and head inside, show you what it is, and talk about it. Alright, so what is this bit of tech that I wanted to talk about today? Well, it's a product from Freewell called the Pro Card Reader. And yes, another card reader. And we did review a card reader a month or so ago by the PGY Tech, and these card readers are different, and I'll talk about the difference of the two card readers and why I wanted to talk about this card reader. And what makes this one so special? Well, it pretty much does it all. The nice thing about this one is it reads all formats of cards. It reads Type A, Type B, SD cards, micro SD cards, reads them all, which is really nice. All the other card readers either read a single format, just a Type B or an SD, or in the case of this PGY Tech one, it'll read a Type B and an SD, or a Type A and an SD, which is really good for what I do, the PGY Tech one. But there are times when I do need to read a Type A and a Type B, and I'll need a micro from my drone, which I can always put that inside of a little other card reader, an SD card shell, and read that. But it's nice not to have all that extra stuff. It just, there on hand that you can just read it straight out of this. So that's what makes this thing really nice. It pretty much does it all. And on top of that, it also has storage inside of it, just like the PGY Tech did. This one holds 2 SD cards, one Type A, one Type B, and it holds several micros of different sizes and types, which is really, really nice. Then on top of that, the cool thing it has is it has all the reader slots. Type B, Type A, SD, and micro, the different sizes of micros. Really, really nice. It also comes with a carabiner here, so you can do things like this hanging on your bag or clip it inside your bag so it doesn't come out and things like that. It's really nice. And an eject also here. It has a little eject for your micro cards from your phones and stuff like that. Now, it's made out of all aluminum alloy, which makes it really, really nice. So the one thing about it is it does not have any waterproof or water resistant type ratings like the PGY Tech did, but it is all aluminum, and it does have a pretty good little close here at the top. So how do you open this guy? Well, it's got 2 tabs here at the top that you pinch, and it makes it come out. And this whole thing comes off here, and you can have it completely out. And when you slide it back in, you have to pinch the tabs again to get it to close. It's really nice. So it stays really nice and snug closed. It doesn't just pop out, so you're not gonna have to worry about this thing coming out and things getting damaged on the inside of this, because the inside is plastic, the outside is aluminum alloy. So it's pretty nice. You're not really gonna crush it unless you just maybe drive over it or something. So it's very, very sturdy, which is really nice. But again, like I said before, it doesn't have any type of ratings, so I wouldn't get it wet and keep it in the rain. Like the PGY Tech, that's one of the big advantages I like on this one when I take it out in the field, is I can take this out in my pocket of my jacket, and if I'm down in the water and it does get a little wet, not dunked, it'll be okay. This one here, I could still take it out with me, but I'd have to be a little more careful about if I'm in the wet, like you see a lot of times when I lay down in the surf and in the mud and stuff like that. I probably want to make sure I have it in a pocket that's zipped up, that's a little waterproof, but I won't worry about crushing this guy, which is nice. Now, another part about this card reader. It has a little dongle here, which is nice. So it is, like I said, it's a card reader, so it's going to read that. And this makes it really nice. Plug it into your laptop, good to go. You can read all the cards. This is a USB 3.2 Gen 2, so you're going to have the fastest, the same speed as this PGY Tech, which is really, really nice. And again, the main advantage to me on this card reader is that it reads all the cards. So why would I want to review this one? I've said this one works great if I'm using Type B and Type SD, and then I have a Type A, it's separate. But I have times where I take out a Sony camera where I'm using Type A, and I'm also shooting my Nikons and my Canons, so I have Type Bs also. And then I've got the drone that I'll get up from time to time. And then I'll have my other Sony cameras that have SD card only, or the R7, the R8. So I need all those cards, and there's times when I do. So what happens is this card reader stays in my bag with the Sony cameras that have Type A when I'm using them. So it stays in that bag at all times. It's going to have the Sony cameras in it. And that way, when I go out, I've got the right card reader and I don't have to take this guy out, or if I forget one, I still have this. I just like that this guy reads everything. That is what's phenomenal. The only thing this thing doesn't do that nobody's done yet is put an actual SD card, or SSD, excuse me, inside one of these. A 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte would be really killer to use this, a reader, storage, and a SSD. That would be really cool. Haven't seen one of those yet. If you guys know of one, let me know. But that would make it really cool, but it would be really expensive. But this guy has held up really well. I've used it for quite a while now, and it has been really good. The speeds are just as fast as all my fast card readers. Like I said, it's USB 3.2 Gen 2, same as this one. This one's really fast. This one's really fast. Works great. I've noticed myself use this one a lot more when I've been doing a lot of stuff lately, because I've been using a lot of cameras lately and a lot of stuff and getting a lot of footage. That's stuff coming up very soon for some of these videos. I hope you've been enjoying the more film type ones I've been doing lately again, which I really love doing those. We'll have more reviews also, but I really wanted to bring you this Freewell card reader, because card readers to me are very, very, very important. You don't think about it till you get to the offloading or the editing process. Then you're like, oh, where is that card reader? Or like I had in the past, before I had this one and this one, I was lugging around several card readers. So I would always be trying to find, okay, this card reader, that card reader, where are they at? If I got out of town, I forgot one of them, I was in trouble. Now, if I only have one of these and I forget them, I'm really in trouble. But it was always the case with that. I was always looking for the card reader, because they're small. When they're like that, they're smaller. These are a little larger, so they're harder to lose. But I could always have one card reader instead of having multiple card readers that I have to locate and do that. So having these type of card readers is really nice. So between these two, which one do I prefer? Well, they're different beasts. This one, the PGY Tech, is more for when I'm out in the sand and this mud and all that stuff, when I need one in the field to change out cards a lot with. So, because this one holds 2 Type Bs and multiple SD cards, which is really nice, and the micros. So this is one when I'm going to go out and I'm going to shoot a lot, and I'm going to be out in the mud and not the rain and stuff like that, and the elements. But I need to change out cards a lot. So I know I'm going to burn through a lot of cards for that day. Let's say I'm going out to Katmai for bears, and I know I might blow through a terabyte plus of images. Yes, that has happened many times, especially when I'm shooting video and I'm shooting high speed on the shutter there, and I've got a full day, because we get about 17 to 20 hours of daylight here in the summer here in Alaska. So I can burn through that much. That's why this one's really nice to have for that type of stuff. When I would use the Freewell, the ones I'm talking about today, when I'm using this one, is kind of the same scenario, but if I know I'm going to be in the wet and the rain and the mud, I got to be careful. And it only holds 1 Type B and 1 Type A in this. So if I need more than 2 SDs, one in the camera, one in here, to swap out, then I probably don't want this one. But most of the time, you know, I've got a couple 1 terabyte cards, so 2 terabytes, I'm probably not going to go much over that unless I have that scenario like I was talking about out in Katmai, where I'm out for a day or two or something like that. And that's where this one shines a little more. But if I'm shooting multiple cameras and I don't have as many cards, it's not as wet, this is the guy I'm taking out. It's pretty nice and robust, but I really like this guy. I think the price on this guy runs between $100 and $129. I'll put it up here what the price of it is and stuff, but it's right in line with the PGY Tech. But again, the reason I like this guy is it has every card reader. If I had to pick between the two, it's like buying only have one, I'd pick the Freewell, because it has more cards it can read, as opposed to this one only has 2. But I have both because I use them for both different circumstances. But that's why I think this one, to me, wins out, because it has that capacity to have all these different types of cards with it that you could have on it. And then it will read all those type of cards instead of just 1 or 2. So if I need to put a micro, need to put an SD, Type A, Type B, if I've got to do them all, it's nice. Or I don't have to think about which card reader I have out with me. Do I have the Type A or the Type B? It's all in this one. So that's why I really like this Freewell card reader. It's really, really nice, and I'm really been really happy with it. Very fast, very reliable, very tough, because I'm pretty rough on my equipment, if you know, and it's held up great. So that's about it, guys. As always, until the next video, get outside and go run that shutter.